Alrighty, folks. Good afternoon. Welcome to another fantastic week of Overwatch. We are going to be getting right into the action here, as it is 4 o'clock, so it is magic time. Today we've got quite a matchup between East Kentwood Black and Charlotte Overwatch teams. Both teams are 2-0 right now. Somebody's going to have to walk away disappointed. We're hoping it's not us. So, for anybody who's new to joining this, welcome. We are here weekly playing in the MiHSEF League for high school esports. And starting off here, we're going to be looking at a more brawly composition with a Far Mercy to play off on the side angles here. And looks like Charlotte is going to go for site control in main to begin, and they're going to be matched with brawl composition as well from a Reaper. Bit of a unique situation here because they've also got the Zenyatta to kind of poke and a D.Va to dive. So right now they're just going to kind of be feeling each other out, looking for an opening pick, and that's going to be Mr. One Bullet getting that first opening, and that's going to buy a lot of space for Charlotte to get on the point here. Going to see Tayshawn here just trying to zone out people from contesting this, and they are going to get the first cap as well. So Charlotte's going to be on the board, ticking up gradually. Now it's just going to be some cleanup from this fight and start looking at what's going to be the next play. Are we going to expect any changes from East Kentwood? You can expect that in a match like this, people, especially map 1, you might see a lot of changes based on trying to figure your opponent out. You might see no changes at all based on people's comfort. It's really just dependent on playing your strengths. So right now you can see Charlotte pushing up, trying to take a lot of space here, getting as much denial to the map as possible. When you've got these tight, closed-in areas, really hard to play through. And you can see here Bowden, Snipe Lee is going to be trying to hold this out as much as possible because all the while the clock is going to be ticking in favor of Charlotte, and Mr. One Bullet gets another nice first pick there. And so we're going to see East Kentwood is kind of backing off this a little bit, and Bowden is going to show some restraint here, not wanting to go past this choke point. Wants to play his advantage as much as possible. Getting a little bit low here, but he's got a lot of support coming out from his team immediately. Nothing to be worried about. And now Charlotte's going to be at 60% right now. So they are already more than halfway to capping this first point. And it looks like East Kentwood is going to try and take some space here. They're going to throw in a bomb here, looking for a pick. They do get 2 off of that, so that's going to be East Kentwood opening a lot of space on this. But Mr. One Bullet comes back with 2, and so Charlotte is still in this. Probably going to see Bowden go down here as his supports have died off. But that is going to be a nice clean, just about 84% for Charlotte, and looks like we have a pause already. Looks like somebody has probably disconnected on one of these teams. We're going to have to see who it is that gets paused. We've got a tech issue on the Charlotte side, probably a headset of some sort. Most likely because nobody's getting logged out. Let's see. Yep, so somebody needs a reset on a computer. So, there we go. We are early into it, and we are already paused. Thankfully, that was at the end of a fight there, so it's not going to affect any sort of outcome for either team. The last thing you want is for any time for their pause to come in and, you know, somebody is using it in some sort of like, hey, we're getting an advantage here by pausing and being able to assess. This is just a matter of simple tech issue. Get it cleaned up here. We can see Jacob in the chat here. Welcome, Jacob. Always good to see you. One of our Valorant players, new to us this season. Great player. Checking out some fellow former teammates who are on Overwatch right now. Looks like it was one of our DPS, Muffin Man, who needs the restart on their computer. All good. Gonna get that going here as soon as possible. Just take a couple minutes. In the meantime, if you haven't been able to check out any of our stuff for Charlotte Esports, we've got our whole link tree attached here on our Twitch. It gives you access to our Facebook, our Twitter updates. We post our VODs on YouTube, which you can see as well. And so if you're ever going to miss this live, you're always getting the option to see it later on and check it out. Slow-mo, rewind, the whole shebang. That's what we end up doing. And a lot of other schools do that as well. Looks like Muffin Man is getting... weird that it just now says that they stopped playing Overwatch, considering they had left the match a minute ago. So hopefully PC issues are working themselves out. If not, we've got other PCs available. It'd just be a matter of logging one player out and having the other one log into that PC. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully it ends up well. I'm going to put a quick message to them just to let them know that if that's the case, go ahead and just hop accounts. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like we need to add some sort of interactive game for when pauses happen, because there's not a lot that you can really do. Most pro leagues, they just sort of go to old skits that have been recorded. They go to having casters play a game with each other, or they do something with the audience, and the players on stage just have to sit there. But looks like Muffin Man's getting back into Overwatch. He's going to be getting back into this match. It will be resetting his stats as well as his ultimate, so that is going to be an unfortunate disconnect for us. But hopefully we can get something converted with some of the ults that we've got online right now. Looks like Charlotte's got 3 ults sitting in the pocket. Royce went for a big play for trying to get... He did get a 2-piece with it, but unfortunately some of the key players on Charlotte did go down there. So we're going to see a cap for East Kentwood, but 84% on the board for Charlotte. So this is really one-fight territory for them at this point. Having that early cap is going to be really nice. They did use the Diva Bomb, and they did use the Zenyatta ult as well. Big things to be looking out for is that Kiriko is definitely going to be popping a rush on, probably on or around point, and the big thing is you do not want to be playing in that. Your enemy gets a lot of buff from that. Going to be looking for an opening here, and they're going to target the Zenyatta, it looks like, and they're going to get a pick on the Ashe, but it gets traded out on Snipe Lead. They might be able to get the res here, and it looks like they are going to get it as well, and the trades are going to come out for Charlotte here. They're cleaning it up quickly. Somebody needs to cap this point, though. You do not want to let this get away from you. 37 points on for East Kentwood, but Charlotte now taking into that 90%. East Kentwood is going to have to get an early touch here, and you can see the Diva's going to have to go for it, and she is getting poked down. She loses her mech. That is massive for Charlotte right now. It's going to be 97. They're going to have to rush this, but nobody's going to get the touch, and that's going to be a nice first map. Or sorry, first round of the first map for Charlotte right there. 100% to 37. Massive play. Gotta love the openings that we're seeing getting for Charlotte. Royce on Pharah has gotten, I think, 3 different first elims in fights, and as soon as you get that in a match, it is a huge opportunity for your team to say, we're going to walk on this because we know we've got the advantage. They're on the back foot right now trying to reassess what their game plan is. Meanwhile, we're sitting healthy, we're sitting heavy. Let's get in. So, fantastic stuff from him, playing good angles, having that great support from his team as well, and that's just clinical Overwatch at that point. So, second part of Nepal here, this is going to be Temple. This is definitely a favorite place for a Pharah as well, so probably see Pharah or Echo. Looks like we're going to switch over to the Echo this time. Still have the Mercy to support that, though. And Snipe Lee's goal here is going to be take as much space as possible. But we're going to see that there is a much more brawly comp from East Kentwood. They've got that Bastion, and that's going to fry down Charlotte's Reaper. So first pick is going to go to East Kentwood, and Charlotte's going to still want to fight this, but it is going to be first cap. So at this point, they've got to assess, do we fight this or do we fall off? And the call should be right now to fall off immediately, get the death, walk away from it, and reset. Yep. Don't want too big of stragglers or staggers like that. That is going to be a bit of a stagger onto Tayshawn and Kim right there. So that's going to buy more time for East Kentwood to cap this. Not your favorite thing to see, but early percentage, still a lot of room for Charlotte to work with. About halfway on a lot of ults, so this fight's going to be a pretty neutral one. The big thing to look out for here is going to be that Bastion. He's playing a lot of side angles here. His definite intent is to be unopposed, not have people looking out for him, and finding a nice little quick pick down on somebody who is unaware of his presence. He is going to go a bit low here, and that's going to be probably a call for Bowden to take some space. And that's going to be another pick onto Kim, but it is getting traded here, and they do get the res off onto Royce. And Bowden is going to be a little bit extended there. We do lose a support for Charlotte. It's going to be down to just Tayshawn, who also goes down. And this is going to be another call for a wipe here. You can see one bullet is trying to escape away with his life. Hopefully he gets out. If he gets staggered here, that's going to be really problematic because then we're going to be into single fight territory at that point. So Charlotte is going to be sitting on 1 ult right now, about to be 2. Need to get something here quickly because right now you have to expect that East Kentwood is also sitting on ults. You can see the Reaper on height. He's probably sitting on his ultimate looking for the back line of Charlotte. Go for a big pick. And this is a big advantage for them right now this time. And we get another pick down onto Charlotte first. It's going to be a support this time going down first. And that's going to be another one as well. So now we have a big problem. Charlotte is probably going to have to commit to this or die off here, but that's going to be the map. And I don't think that they're going to be able to get onto map 2 here. This is going to be probably a 100-0 for East Kentwood. We're going to have to take it to the 3rd here, go the whole distance. He is not able to get that res either. They have the zoning ults, and that's going to be round 2 going to East Kentwood. So here we go. It's going to be a 1-1. Got to see who's going to be able to pull it through. Good to see you, Target, in the chat. Another one of our Valor players coming in to support some former teammates, some current Overwatch team members. Now, for this 3rd point here, it's a little bit interesting because there is a big well in the ground here. We do see Snipely switching over to the Roadhog, looking to abuse that, but we did see the East Kentwood team also playing a Roadhog. You've got to expect that they're probably going to go for the same thing. So I don't disagree with this Roadhog play. I think leaving a Roadhog to their own devices on this map can be really, really dangerous. So I like that we've got something as well that can make them feel a little nervous here. In terms of DPS, we are going to see a switch up from the Echo over to the Sojourn. So they're going to be playing a little bit more distance and poke against this team. They are going to roll out with the Lucio, so they will have the advantage of space. So they're going to dictate the tempo here. They've got the Bastion again, worked out well for them in round 2. Why not run it in round 3 as well? That's going to be Bowden's hookout, but Mr. One Bullet with a great poke pick. That's going to be an opener for Charlotte, and now the point's going to be opening in about 4 seconds here. You got to start making eyeballs at, hey, are we going to go for this? We're going to get that first initial cap. And Bowden is taking tons of space here, but he is kind of sectioned off from his team, so Charlotte's going to cap here, but Bowden's got to be careful not to die off. Same thing goes for Muffin Man. He's playing by himself right now. He's getting back to his team, going for the heals, but that is going to be the pickoff against Insanity, so that's going to be down a healer. The Reaper is without abilities. Gets the pick and it's traded. Tayshawn is going to stay up here as well, but now the point is going to flip over and now they're down to no healers, so this is going to be a quick flip away from Charlotte. I think a little overextended there, honestly. Left your supports in the dust. They ended up getting dove down on. And so Charlotte's going to switch away from the Roadhog, and now you can see East Kentwood is going to go for a massive push up into the spawn, and they are going to get a pick onto the Reaper. Reaper right now a little bit struggling to get some impact here. Might need to be the call for a switch off. Having a lot of first deaths here, and it happens sometimes. If a team can isolate an individual and they can recognize their advantage, you got to play your advantages. That's what we do a lot of as well. So that Roadhog is going to back off. He can see the big fight is coming his way. He's going to back off of that. But now point is very open, but at the same time it's very dangerous to go for this because Roadhog can go for your backline at this point. That's going to be a trade here, but advantage to East Kentwood right now. Tayshawn with the immortality. That's going to keep Bowden up just for a minute, but again, now old advantage is going to come out in favor of East Kentwood. Charlotte should be sitting on a lot here. We need to see Charlotte recap this right now. Immediately. This needs to be a clean capture. Commit an ult into this early. Probably looking at Tayshawn's window. Have the Sojourn play off of that window. Needs to get some value here because now we're into that 70% zone by the time this is captured. If they win, East Kentwood is then going to be in a one-fight territory where Charlotte has to win probably 3 good fights here, where East Kentwood only has to win 1. So we need to see a window pop out quickly. Not seeing the window yet. Wondering when that's going to come out. In the meantime, there's going to be early advantage for East Kentwood. We're going to switch our view over to our Baptiste. He does get the window out now, but at this point, I think it is a little bit too late for it to have an impact. And so we're going to see East Kentwood take third round of this, and it's going to be a 1-2 for East Kentwood. So East Kentwood's going to take map 1 here, but Charlotte has things that they can work with. So we're going to hope to see that they are able to adapt to that. So a nice play of the game there for East Kentwood team. And now we're going to see the map is going to switch over here in just a minute from Nepal. We are going to King's Row. So King's Row is going to be, I believe Charlotte's going to be on the attack first for this. And probably see a lot of that Sojourn play again. I mean, we're seeing Mr. One Bullet get a lot of really nice opening picks, and with a good poke comp, you can really do a lot of damage to them. We've seen a lot of success actually from the poke from Charlotte. I think where they actually got a little bit struggling is in their brawl comp when they East Kentwood was taking a lot of space in a lot of different places. Wider open maps can be hard to brawl in. The Bastion's a great pick for that. The Roadhog can close gaps really quickly. He can pick out anywhere to have an advantage. So at this point, probably just taking a moment here to talk. But we need to get these maps rolling as soon as possible. This is looking like it's going to be a close match. So definitely don't want to keep people playing as long as humanly possible, just because, especially in a close match like this, we do go all 5 maps in MiHSEF. That is for the sake of game integrity, because the way the league points work is you gain 2 points for a map win, but you get a point for a map loss. You get 0 points if you forfeit a map. So we play all 5 because in reality, a team that 3-0s and then is done right there gets 6 points. Whereas if you're a team that loses 1-4, you also get 6 points. So we don't like the idea that a team that is dominating does not get the absolute utmost point potential that they have, and so all 5 maps are very important. You can deny the other team extra points. You can gain yourself something back as well if you're currently down. The game is never over until map 5 says so. So Charlotte here, looking at their comp, we are seeing, we've got the Ramatra here, which is a brawlier tank, but that is also a really good one for taking space. And we are going to see Soldier and Widowmaker for the opening here. So very pokey DPS, like we said, very valuable on this attack side. You get a huge advantage. You did just see there some red pulsations by the door. That is going to be a Hanzo that they're playing, and that is going to be to get some intel on what is Charlotte planning to bring out. So they are also going to have some pokier heroes. They are definitely realizing the advantage here is to poke teams when it comes to early King's Row and endgame as well. They get another sighting orb out as well, so they are going to know at least 2 of the heroes that Charlotte is playing, of the Ramatra and the Soldier. Looks like we do have the Hanzo and the Kiriko. They're going to be playing an Orisa here. You do see a lot of Orisa in terms of zone denial. And that Bastion is back again, playing isolated by himself right now, but I think if Charlotte tries to dive this, he is going to back off pretty quickly. We do see him backing off. That is a great first pick, though, from Mr. One Bullet yet again. What a fantastic player for this team right now. You do see Snipely getting really low, but he's getting massive support from his team. That Bastion is low as well, and that's going to be a pick. That has got to be the call from Charlotte. Take the space on this point. Start getting the final picks here. And the zone is going to cap. That's going to be the first tick. We need to see 2 more ticks from this. We've got 4 on site. You can see Snipely is looking to deny. East Kentwood, if they get the chance, they might try to contest. I don't think they're going to, though. This is a smart call from them. Your advantage is to play this choke right now because this is a very tough spot to play through for any team. So you can see Snipely is already trying to move up and take the space, denying the zoning, and East Kentwood is respecting it. To their credit, they are respecting Charlotte in this, saying, hey, these guys are pretty good in this situation. Snipely is going to probably go down here. He does get a little deep for it, and they get a huge focus down on him. But we should be seeing Cart just stopping in this choke, and so now the call from East Kent was going to be to absolutely walk on this, because they know this choke, you do not want to let a team get through for free. And now you can see they are holding this choke as well. Let's see if Mr. One Bullet can get another fantastic opening pick. That would be a sight to see. He has been playing out of his mind today. Great play on map 1. Setting up his team a lot. He's going to have the sights here, looking for where can he find an advantage pick on this long sight line. You can see the team is going to be respecting it, barely just peeking out brief and momentarily. Misses the grapple up there. That is going to be unfortunate, so his ult is going to be minimally effective. But we're going to come back to the front line here. Kim, a little far up here for my liking, but he is also putting a lot of pressure. Nice first pick from Mr. One Bullet. The one time that I get off of his point of view, I don't get to see it. That is my bad. We are going to see this Orisa probably go down here. Goes in deep, seeing if they can get a quick pick, but to no avail. And now the call is going to be for Snipely to walk up on this, and you're going to see he's going to take some immediate space, get some push on the payload. Nice pick right there. This Hanzo should go down here, and they do. And that Lucio's going to try and get away with their life. They should be able to get away pretty safely. Orioles are going to be able to get this right up to about where the end of point B is going to be. There should be a contest out here from East Kentwood, but we are going to be sitting on Snipely's massive ult here of Annihilation. Very good for zoning. We've got Insanity, is going to have that Mercy ult as well. Better see them go for this early, because right now we can see East Kentwood is going to go for it as well. They're going to dump a lot of ults in this. I hope the call is going to be, Charlotte, hold on to your ults right here, because they are dumping everything into this fight. You can come back another day, and that's going to be a quick cleanup for East Kentwood. It is going to result in burning a couple volts there, the Orisa for sure, and we did see the Hanzo and the Kiriko. So they're going to be sitting on Bastion still and Lucio. That Lucio is going to be a huge ult for denying Ramatra's Annihilation, but if they're able to get a pick, Mr. One Bullet has been doing his job well. If he can get that pick on that Lucio, it's a tough ask. Lucio's very mobile. He's very tricky to get your hands on. But if we can get that pick onto the Lucio, I think this is an easy point B walk-in for Charlotte. Going to be looking for somebody to poke on, and he's going to activate it. They're going to zone him away. There's the Lucio beat, like we said. Helps deny the ult. And he's going to be targeting this Lucio. If he can get him out of the game here, and he's going to get him down low, and he's going to back up. Mr. One Bullet gets a great pick on the Bastion, and now the Orisa goes down as well. This has got to be point B for Charlotte. And now we're looking at how quickly can they cap point C. If they can get some good time in their bank, we could be seeing a potential of maybe 2 minutes of overtime here, which would be a huge one for Kings Row. This is a map that can very easily go 2 points but fall just shy of that full 3. So we need to see Charlotte get all 3 points here. You do not want to get it held at 2. 2 is great, but it's never enough. So lots of space being taken here by Bowden. He's going to look for a poke here. He's going to want to play off the sightline a little bit, though, because now he's... Oh, that's a very lucky wall hold right there, because he is taking a lot of damage right now, and he is not able to close this gap as well as he can on other spots where there is tight walls here. That Lucio is getting fried, though. Watch out for that Hog. He's going to go for a hook here into the pit below. He's looking for it. He does get the Bastion pick, but it's going to get traded out immediately, and Charlotte does lose another, but they C9 it! Are you kidding? 3 minutes on the clock for Charlotte. That is an absolute massive win for Charlotte right there. East Kentwood had the advantage. They have the opportunity to stop this cart, which is so dangerous. It is why people do not cap that 3rd point. And it gets C9'd. For anybody who does not know, a C9 is where your opponent is able and ready to touch that point and contest it, and they do not. They get zoned off. The touch does not come through. That has got to be a massive moment right there for Charlotte. Absolutely takes them from this fight's looking a little iffy to we are in this game. 3 minutes on the clock of overtime. Huge ask from East Kentwood, because especially if they're not able to get that first cap like Charlotte did, where they came out, they opened it up, and they immediately got first cap, that can be a huge spot to get held. The #1 places that people get held on this map are right here at the beginning and right at the end. So there's going to be 2 big points that Kentwood is gonna have to get this play. But Charlotte also need to be careful, because just like they made a big play with poke comps, just as easily can East Kentwood. This Bastion play right here, if they come out with a Widow just like Mr. One Bullet did, he might be seeing the other side of what he likes to do to a lot of teams. And we are going to see somebody up in that window, so we're going to hopefully see the call to respect it. And it looks like they are indeed. They're going to be playing their sight lines, trying to deny those easy free picks for East Kentwood. You do not want to give up anything when you have this big of an advantage. And Snipe Lee gets a great opening pick that is going to immediately stagger out the first push of East Kentwood. East Kentwood smart to call the fallback on this. You do not want to get staggered here and have more clock disappear. When you're looking at your opponent having 3 minutes on the clock, you need every second. It always counts. You've got to get big momentum, have big plays, get your ults online first, get those opening picks. So Charlotte here is going to be going for this poke again. We can see they're switching over to the Zarya, and you can see how much space it takes immediately. So this could be a good pick for them as well. The Genji is going to be there definitely to deny Bastion a lot of value. And we can hear now, a lot of players are getting around this position here, and they're going to be playing around the pole. But Mr. One Bullet, another great pick. That's got to be half a dozen opening picks for his team at this point. And you can see he's going to get traded out here. This is a little dangerous for Charlotte. We're going to need to see another pick here. That Zarya is high charge, and she is dangerous at this point. Now East Kentwood is going to be calling to get onto the point, start their cap. They should be able to cap this with about 2.5 minutes left. Somewhat of a similar time to Charlotte. So they are with a potential on a good tempo here. They were able to get 2 holds of Charlotte before Charlotte capped point B. So now the big question is, can Charlotte replicate that? If they cannot, then we are very likely to see a good chance that East Kentwood could get a similar time bank. So our goal is get a stop on this play. That Zarya is very high charge though, and that's going to be an opening pick onto the Muffin Man. So much denial here by Ramatra, but the backline is just falling apart for Charlotte. They're going to have to walk away from this. The call needs to be to die off here immediately, reset the point, and look at how much space East Kentwood is going to take. They have committed a couple of ults here though. We do see the Zarya and the Moira ult. Don't believe that we've seen the Kiriko, the Genji, or the Sombra. I'm willing to bet that that's not a coincidence. Probably going to see all 3 of those ults used in succession. The Kiriko ult is going to be great for closing distance for that Genji Blade. Genji Blade needs very up close and enemies that can't get away from you, and that's where the hack is going to come in as well from the Sombra EMP. It's going to deny yourself the ability of escaping this. I don't think that Ramatra can ignore this Zarya as much as he has been. I think that they need to pay a little more attention. She's going to back off this immediately, and they're going to try and reset this fight. The Genji going very low, and that's a great pick. That probably shuts down everything that East Kentwood is looking to do. That Genji Blade is not going to be available to them for this fight, and as a result, the Kiriko is looking low as well. Hopefully no more ults come out for Charlotte here. They know they've got the fight win. They're taking back space. This is a great moment for Charlotte. Very careful here of this Zarya, though. She is holding very high charge, very good Zarya player. Definitely want to respect it. The minute you don't, you're going to be paying for it. Looking at Charlotte, we're going to want to see probably a window play here for when the team pushes in. That's going to be the call to go. That EMP is huge for them. And there's the blade, and there's the rush. That is to be expected for Charlotte right there. We knew that those 3 ults were going to be coming in. That was going to be a big combo for them, and it does indeed pay off. The big question here is Charlotte going to be able to contest? My instincts say no. This is going to be a point B capture for East Kentwood, and now they're looking at about the same amount of time that Charlotte had coming into this. So Charlotte's going to need to get more contests in at this point C if they have a shot of having a bigger time bank than East Kentwood. Right now, East Kentwood is on par to set about a similar time here. We need to see some opening picks from our DPS line. We've got Tayshawn playing on the high, and Mr. One Bullet, when we ask, he delivers. That is a great opener onto their Genji. That's going to be a tough one for Kentwood to fight here. Looks like they're still going to try to contest this a little bit. They do not want to give up free space. Mr. One Bullet is going to go for his ult. See if he can get a stagger pick. He does not. So Kentwood is probably going to feel a little more confident here, but you got to be looking at this Soldier ult and this Ramatra ult. If we can keep either of them up when they go for it, and that's going to be a big ask on the support line, that's going to be big for Charlotte. That's a big opening pick, though. That's going to be 2, and that is a great way for them to start this fight out if you're Kentwood. Charlotte needs to die off here at this point. Hit the reset button, absolutely. They are going to get another contest here, and that time bank is now, every second that they get, that time bank is going to be smaller for East Kentwood. So Charlotte needs a big play here. Zarya has used her ult. You've got to expect that Moira probably has it, but nobody else on East Kentwood. Maybe the Sombra's getting close. We need to see Charlotte walk out here quick, probably with both the sights and the Ramatra ult. This needs to be a quick play. Ultimates need to be used fast, and there's the call. That's going to be a good one. First pick open from Mr. One Bullet. Insanity's going to get a nice pick onto the Genji who tried to dive him. It's going to get traded out on Tayshawn, but I think that the call is going to be that this is a fight win for Charlotte. They might get a stagger pick on the Zarya, a little bit of a stagger there. That's going to be awesome. And now the clock is going to start ticking, and Charlotte will have 2 ults in this as well. They're going to be double support ults, but they can be massive ones. You play that soldier onto that window for the Baptiste, and that's a big zoning one. I would probably see if we can play that down the long sight line here. They're probably looking to set that up here at some point. And then if you can get that fight win with those 2 ults, you're looking at having the Mr. One Bullet, who's now switched over to the Reaper, being able to combo with the Ana. So we need to see a big opening pick here. I want to see Tayshawn using this window right about now on this long sight line, getting some maximum utility out of it. We do get the Ana nanoing onto Ramatra, and Ramatra's going to walk this, but it looks like they're going to respect this. A very wise move from East Kentwood to back this up. They see a nano, and they got to respect it. That is a dangerous ultimate, very easy to fall to. I want to see Tayshawn using his window as soon as they commit here, because this is going to be a big opportunity for him if he can get the soldier to play off this. So let's see if Tayshawn is going to use it here. I would love to see this. There we go. There's the call for the window. We are going to keep people up on this. And that Zarya should go down here. They're going to be pinging for it. The EMP comes out, but Snipely gets a pick onto the Moira. That's going to be massive. Tayshawn can stay up here with the immortality. He gets it off. Can they deny this Genji, though? The Genji is so important to get out of this fight, and they are going to get the trade on him. People are staying healthy on Charlotte. That clock is now at a minute left. So there is already a 2-minute deficit for East Kentwood, and Charlotte's looking to take more from this. They get a stagger pick, and that's going to be massive. This is looking to be probably last fight territory in reality. If you're East Kentwood, if this Sombra goes down right here, this is absolutely last fight territory. This Sombra needs to be so careful, and Charlotte needs to be careful of them as well. If they get a first pick onto Charlotte, this is going to be big for East Kentwood to cap. The ultimate goal of Charlotte right here is, in this 30 seconds, make it go to overtime. If it goes to overtime, oh, that is a massive opening pick. The Kiriko does get the ult up, though. Be very careful. The Zarya gets it as well, but that's going to be 3 picks for Charlotte. They are absolutely dominating this, and now it's just the Reaper left. They might be able to get another fight here. 18 seconds left. That's going to be enough, but it is going to be a very difficult ask. Snipely is going to walk forward with his ult. I think that's a little bit early of a call for that ult, unless he was already sitting on it. I think he had already used it in that previous fight. Tayshawn needs to get his ult online here, pop the window immediately, and deny this site. He's got it online. Let's see if he pops it, and he does, and that's going to be immediate 2 picks for Charlotte here. They are looking absolutely dominant on map 2 here. Need to be careful. The trades are coming in for East Kentwood, but that is going to be a beautiful hold for Charlotte on map 2. We are 1-1, and this is going to be a match that absolutely goes the distance here. Both teams are fighting with their hearts, and I get the feeling we're going to be watching quite a bit of fantastic Overwatch today. I don't know if you can tell, I'm excited about Overwatch. That probably happens all the time. I get very excited. I can only imagine what the sound of that game room is right now. We shocked one of our teachers, who is very kind and allows us to use their lab for their computers. They have wonderful computers in there, and it's a really great teacher. They're a big supporter of our program. And he was in there one day last week when we were playing, and, well, let's just say after round 1 of Control Map 1, he realized that we're a very passionate team, and I have no idea where they get that. I can't imagine somebody yelling a lot and, you know, just being generally very loud. So, other than that, what a game we're having right now. I'm seeing a lot of Nuke the Bastion and Ban Hog. Guys, it's fine. It's fine. It's a 1-1 right now. Charlotte is showing perseverance. They're taking comps that East Kentwood have been throwing at them. The Zarya play was working quite well early on. The Genji was working well with the Sombra. We saw when they took out the Bastion on Nepal, that was working well for them as well. And yet, in all of these scenarios, Charlotte has come back and shut that down and said, no way, pal. We're not letting you get away with that all the time. We are going to fight back, and we are going to make this as competitive as possible. So, really excited to see this level of gameplay. This is absolutely fantastic Overwatch from both teams. Absolute shout out to East Kentwood as well. They are putting up a fantastic play so far. We love to see maps like this. The last thing you want to see is a situation where we're not having competitive matches. Everybody wants to have those competitive matches. That's why we use the Swiss bracket in MiHSEF. Everybody's got an opportunity to go up against some really great teams and get a chance to grow as a team when you get to play people who are close to that skill level that your team is at, and just being able to inch that out in front of them is such a fantastic accomplishment and feeling for these guys. So we're just going to be waiting here to see if East Kentwood is going to be ready to go. Probably just taking a second maybe to chat, or if somebody needs to stretch, or if they've got somebody to switch out. It doesn't look like they've got anybody to stretch it, or to switch out, but they do have a somewhat deep roster for this team. East Kentwood is a very big school in the MiHSEF program. They've got 2 different teams, and they've got a lot of people on each team. So definitely a great school with a lot of good things going on in their program. A lot of kids who are in those labs in support of it. And so we'll be seeing what they do here for map 3. Gonna double check here just because we're not hearing anything from them right now. Just gonna double check to make sure that I don't have any messages on my end, or that they're having any issues on their end. So we'll see where that is going. Not hearing anything back from them, so I'm messaging their coach real quick just to check in. Also going to be putting the update that we are live on Twitch right now. Did not get the chance to put that out earlier, but yes, we are indeed live for week 3 right now. If you're sitting here, I hope that you know that you're here for week 3 of MiHSEF Overwatch. If not, probably some follow-up questions of existentialness, like who am I and how did I get to this place? But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you know you're here and why you're here, and you're loving to watch these Orioles play their hearts out in this game. Just typing and talking is a very difficult thing to do, so I apologize while we get things ready. It looks like they are not ready yet, so we are going to take a moment here to sit and, you know, think about some of the things that we've seen. Oh, wait. Well, not yet. Never mind. Yes, we are. So it looks like they are indeed ready, so that's good. All right, here we go. We are going to get into Rialto, and this is going to be a very long-range poking map. So expect to see Charlotte going for similar things. I expect to see Mr. One Bullet just defying expectations in this game. This has been just such a fantastic match to watch, and it's got to be a great feeling for him as well, knowing that, you know, being able to get those openers for your team, it builds confidence so much. It is a really fantastic feeling to be able to do that for your team. This is such a sport where people are so deeply connected to each other when they're playing. I mean, these guys are like family, and what a fun day to be playing Overwatch. Regardless of where the outcome goes, I expect to see all 5 maps is going to look just like the first 2 that we've seen. Absolute buzzer beater situations, back and forth fights, coming down to those micro gameplays of who's using utility when, where are we getting first picks, ult economy. This is what high level Overwatch should look like, and this is why I love the heck out of this game. So, I think it is without saying we need the point of view of a Mr. One Bullet, because he has been absolutely massacring with these opening picks. And it's going to be Snipe Lee actually takes massive space, and he's going to get a pick off of this. And so now we're going to see Mr. One Bullet is going to go for a switch off here, because Now, he doesn't need to do the role of getting the first picks. He's got Ramatra doing that for him. They do have the Pharah here, so it's probably going to be a switch to a Sojourn or an Echo maybe to counter it. Oh, that Pharah goes absolutely one, and it's going to be Baptiste to get that pick, and now it's going to be dangerous for East Kentwood here, sitting on 3. That Bastion doing a lot of work, does get the trade onto Mr. One Bullet, who switched over to Pharah, but we should be seeing a lot of space taken here by Snipe Lee. Needs to get a pick onto something here. Probably this Ramatra gets a little sectioned off here for their liking. The Immortality comes out just a little bit late, but I think Charlotte should be able to pull this out as long as they survive against this Bastion. But there he goes, getting another pick. We gotta see, can we pull this out? I think the answer is gonna be no. East Kentwood does get the spawns back. They are gonna be sitting on 4 here. This Bastion needs to be so careful though, because Snipe Lee is not missing his shots with the Ramatra right now. Playing very well off of this disruption, where you see him dropping this purple here on the ground. That is slowing down the enemy. They are having a hard time getting out of it. And this is going to be the call for the Roadhog switch. This has been a big success for East Kentwood in the past. And so it's not surprising to see it pulled out, and it is going to be playing well. Looks like we have another pause here. Is it another tech issue on the Charlotte side, or are we getting something from East Kentwood? It is going to be... looks like Tayshawn for Charlotte again. Having some tech issues with these computers. Probably going to want to call tech to say, hey guys, something's going on with these PCs. See, were they in the middle of a fight here, though, is the real question. Want to be absolutely sure. So we're going to put that in there just to let them know that if that's going to be something that happens again, end the fight quickly, hit the reset button, jump into the water if you have to get back into the spawn, immediately hit that pause and say, all right, so here we go. Sorry that that happened again. All is well. I think that East Kentwood, though, seems pretty understanding with this. We do apologize that we are having to go through these tech issues right now. Absolutely not ideal when it comes to the flow of gameplay, and it's not great for Charlotte either. Let's make that clear as well. The Baptiste, who, looking at ult economy of Insanity here, was probably getting pretty close to an ult. That was 2 big fights that happened, doing a lot of healing onto his team. So that is going to be the window lost at this point, which means already East Kentwood is going to be sitting at an advantage because of fight wins for ult economy, as well as now they can probably be expecting that he had to have been at least close, if not already there. That's going to be back at 0%. Got to hit the restart button for that. So, a little bit of a sticky situation for Charlotte here. 2.5 minutes on the clock. The big goal here is if you can get a quick fight where you pull out a lot of ults from East Kentwood, can you swing back with a couple of your own? Looking at Charlotte, we're sitting on going to be the nano boost, and it's going to be Snipe Lee, who's been having absolutely massive annihilations. If they can get that combo together, they can at the very least buy a lot of space, get some cart push, and hopefully get that first point, adds some time to your bank, gets you on the map here as well, gives you a good fighting chance in this. The last thing you want is to have the full hold happen, because of course then you would most likely be looking at a 2-1 lead for East Kentwood, which of course, for my point of view, my totally unbiased point of view, is I'd like to see Charlotte win, of course. But so it sounds like that is going to be another PC that has frozen. Just keeping them in the loop here. Very unfortunate about tech pauses. So we are already 45 minutes into this match, and we are only about a quarter of the way through map 3 of 5. So this is, like I said, this is definitely going to be a long one that we're looking at. We are going to be in it for the haul. And I am okay with that. Also going to be looking ahead because right now I am actually in a meeting, coincidentally enough. I'll be honest, have not been able to pay a lot of attention to the meeting. If you couldn't tell, I've been doing a little bit of casting here and there, just to dabble. Let's see if East Kentwood is good to go on their end, or if I've gotten any messages, just to see that they're doing okay. It is understandable that they are having to be very flexible with the fact that there are some tech issues going on. Okay, looks like they are ready. Fantastic. Call is going to be made to unpause the match here. And indeed, the Baptiste is probably going to be without any ult charge here, so that is going to be a big unfortunate one here for Charlotte. But I would rather it be that way than getting some sort of advantage from a pause. Obviously, pauses aren't ideal. We don't want that. Going to want to see Insanity back off this a little bit here. Don't want to get staggered out while the team is getting reset. See if there's any changes. Mr. One Bullet does switch off here to the Bastion. Probably to zone that Hog a lot if I had to imagine. Going to want to be careful of getting hooked, though. That is the big play of a Roadhog. That Bastion, though, goes very low. Hopefully the call-out goes out that there is a Junkrat sitting above. That Hog goes absolutely one. And that's going to be Sniper calling for the ultimate, and that's going to be 2 picks for him. Make that 3! Absolutely berserk! And I didn't capture the moment except from Tayshawn's point of view. If I clip it, it'll look like a Tayshawn clip. It is not, but that is going to be, thankfully, a first point cap for Charlotte. 4 minutes on the clock here. Definite opportunity to continue this map going. This is what we want to see in Overwatch. We never want to see full hold situations. Nobody likes short Overwatch. Nobody likes any short esport, actually. So, right here, early hook going to come out for East Kentwood, and a lot of damage going on to Snipely, but his supports, holy moly, they are working overtime. And there's the Muffin Man getting a nice opening pick onto the snipe on the East Kentwood team. There is 2 snipes in this lobby, and that's going to be the call for the sights to come out. This is a nice quick cleanup for Charlotte. They are looking to get this point 2 quickly. If they can get the pick here, got to be very careful that Snipely does not go down to this Bastion. The Bastion actually gets picked off. Bastion v Bastion 1v1. We love to see that happening. Hog on the height. This is a dangerous spot. If they contest this as a team, he's going to go for the ult, and that's actually a big pick. That is a huge moment for East Kentwood to get them back into this. They're going to come into this fight with an advantage now. No tank on the Charlotte, and that cart is 2 meters shy of the cap, and that is probably where it's going to sit for a moment. Almost gets a trade here, but the call from Charlotte needs to be get off of this ASAP. The Bastion dies off just a little bit late, but we're going to watch his point of view because I want to see this man cook. Mr. One Bullet. We're sitting on 3 ults here for Charlotte, 2 support, and a DPS for the Bastion. The only unfortunate thing for the Bastion now is they actually have less usage of their ult when it comes to combining with support ults. That window, not nearly as useful to an ulted Bastion. It is still useful to a Bastion in general, though. He is no slouch when it comes to damage here. Playing a little bit behind his team. Should be calling out that there's a big play happening up top. Lot of East Kentwood is playing up top, and they're going to be dropping down onto what is a split-up Charlotte. But they do get the opening pick. The Muffin Man stays alive here. That is going to be massive. They do hear the ult from the Bastion. Is Mr. One Bullet going to catch him out? No. But almost does. But there he is right here, and that's going to be a pick from the Bastion, but it is immediately traded. Charlotte needs to get this cart moving here. They are contesting it. This is going to be big pressure onto East Kentwood. They have to play the point here carefully. The Kiriko is up in the back line. I want to see them contesting this. That's going to be a big ante, and that's going to be the call for the ult. Another annihilation from Snipe Lee. Very massive. It is still contested, though. This is not over. This fight is still happening. Muffin Man does get a nice pick here. It's still pushing the cart. 4 meters left. The Reaper is going to contest, and now it is just Snipe Lee, and I don't think he's going to be able to capture this. He does have Tayshawn with him as well, though. It's now a 2v2 situation. They get the first pick. Push that cart. It is going to be contested again. Zenyatta on point. Can they get the pick here? Needs this. Absolutely massive. But he's going to go down, and I think that's going to be Charlotte again. 1.3 meter hold. And a minute left. And this is probably last fight situation. But that ult economy might work out here. Tayshawn with the window. Muffin Man with the visor. And Charlotte has been so good at getting these opening picks consistently. The amount of first fight picks that Charlotte has got to be at least 3 out of 4 fights right now. And it looks like we've got dropping bullets in the chat. Here to watch Mr. One Bullet. Hopefully we see the bullet barrage here. The Hog is going to get slept mid-ult. Everybody stays up, but I say that and immediately the visor gets called and it is going to die off here. I get the feeling Charlotte is not going to be able to reset this in time. This is going to be just shy of .2. So, not quite the result that you're hoping for on Rialto, but let's see what Charlotte can do on their defense, to be fair. We saw a situation on King's Row where we were talking about what kind of overtime is East Kentwood going to be looking at compared to the Charlotte overtime. And you know where that one ended? It actually ended up with no overtime cap for East Kentwood. And so this is not over. Charlotte is definitely in this. These fights have been scrappy, to say the least. I think the biggest thing to worry about is that Roadhog right now. They are having absolutely massive impact. They are setting up their team well, getting a lot of good opening picks, or denying some big ults there. They saw the window go down, and they immediately ulted to push everyone away from it. They get 2 picks off of that as well. They also deny the ult from the Muffin Man. Feels weird saying that when I'm talking about Soldier, but, you know, it is what it is. So that is definitely a strong competitor for East Kentwood. The whole team, in reality, I would not say that on either team there would be an identifiable weak point of what is going wrong for either of these teams. I think it is just a matter of different people are playing up at different moments, and they are having those positive impacts at the time that they need it. The difference maker is who can have those bigger impacts in the moments where it counts. So looking at Charlotte's setup here, we're going to have a low ground and a high ground support player. Want to be careful again, though, just like we said on King's Row. We go for those opening picks out of spawn. Doesn't stop the opponent from doing that either. We're going to be seeing there is a Junkrat as well. It's going to be nice for getting some lob. The Roadhog is out as well. That is to be expected. There's a TP in the backline, and it is caught immediately. They're going to see this and be aware. Want to see the Ana get back to your team and close the gap a little bit here. We do see a nice pick from, guess who? Mr. One Bullet, but a quick trade out for East Kentwood as well. That's going to be 2, and now we have an advantage to East Kentwood here. Bit of a sticky situation. Snipe Lee going to try and survive this, but he gets surrounded here, and that's got to be the call from Charlotte to hit the reset button on this fight. Lots of time in the time bank from East Kentwood, but Charlotte should be able to contest this here as long as nobody goes down right now. Got to be very careful. That Hog can ruin a lot of days. That Reaper as well, taking that flank was a really nice play to split up the attention of Charlotte. Make sure that you could buy space for the front line to push in. And again, he's going to go for a similar thing. He's playing the back line. He does go low here, but at the same time, Charlotte's having to split their attention. They are also going low. There is a Junkrat on the top. Expect him to go for the back line, and he does indeed. But Tayshawn is there for it. But he is going to get his impact that he needed to. He gets 2 picks on it. We're going to need to see Tayshawn get a pick here, and he does get one with Snipe Lee. Now it's going to be a pretty even fight. We need to see the Kiriko go down, and that should be a hold for Charlotte. Nobody goes down to this Roadhog, though. That's got to be crucial. Roadhog is still a dangerous competitor by himself, but they are going to be able to get a cleanup here. That is great. Charlotte should have the reset. No sweat. And now we're looking at 3 ults coming online for Charlotte. You're going to want to see these used very early. Because the way Kentwood is playing, you've got to expect some ults. The Zarya switch comes out, so no Roadhog ult. That is a huge one for Charlotte. But you know what? They are probably going to have either a Riptire or what I like to call the Beyblade from that Reaper. So if that's the case, you want to get off this Sigma Flux before the Zenyatta has a chance to deny it. So we're going to want to see an early Flux from Snipe Lee. We're going to switch over to his point of view and see if that's what he's going to do indeed. The call is that they are going to contest high ground here. Got to be careful if you're Ashe. They are going to be coming for you. Snipe Lee needs to pick a target for this. They are going to get a first pick, Insanity, with a great opener onto the Zenyatta, but it is traded. We need to see this come out immediately. We need to see the Flux coming out. Bob instead, and the window to deny space on the zone. And One Bullet with a great two-piece here. Still got to be careful. There are enough people on East Kentwood to make a go of this. Reaper is up on this. He has no fade, though. If he can hit a big rock, Charlotte could make a play of this, but that Reaper is definitely sitting on an ult. He is going to back off. We got to see Snipe Lee here use this Flux. A minute left for Kentwood. Playing a little far forward here for my liking. Mr. One Bullet! Are you kidding? I need to see this man's POV at all times. I need a second screen. That is nothing but Mr. One Bullet. Absolutely playing out of his mind here for Charlotte. 40 seconds left. This has got to be close to a last fight territory. And there's going to be a switch to a Winston here, probably to dive the DPS line. Need to see Snipe Lee go for a quick ult here. Massively quick ult. We need to see the Flux come out. It needs to happen now. Maybe I can manifest that he will go for it, and he does, and he's going to pick up two with it. He gets the first pick with it. He's going to get a second. There are trades. There's going to be ults coming out from Kentwood as well. Need to be focused on to this. A nice block. Muffin Man gets a great pick. This Zenyatta's going to go down here. He's got to. It's just the Winston now, and there is 10 seconds left. Nobody goes down to this Winston, and we have a shot here. 4 seconds left. There's going to be a quick ult. He almost lands the rockets a second early, but they do not touch! Why am I yelling so loud? Who knows? But Charlotte takes the match up to a 2-1 lead. And this is why we like Overwatch. Both teams, absolutely massive gameplay. Keeping this competitive. Nobody is giving up an inch if they don't have to. Nobody is discouraged in this game. I don't want to see either of these teams getting down about the current situation. If you are East Kentwood, you know you can make this a 2-2. If you are Charlotte, you are looking for that 3-1. I will wait to tell them how great both teams are playing until we get to map 5 or the end. But wow! What a game we got going here today. We are being absolutely treated. It has got to be somebody's birthday. Because there is no way we are getting a treat like this in week 3 of Overwatch season. There are still 4 more weeks of the regular season to play, and the competition is only going to get tighter from here for every single team in this league. This is absolutely fantastic to be watching right now. East Kentwood has already been putting in scores. That is fantastic. We appreciate you guys doing that. Got to put in the score for map 3 here. That is going to be a 1-0 for Charlotte. And again, both of these teams are keeping it close. We had a 2-1 for map 1, a 3-2 for map 2, and a 1-0. Just when we thought, wow, this is going to be a tough spot to only get 1 point, Charlotte comes back going for that full hold. And it was a tough full hold as well. Same thing for East Kentwood. Map 1, Charlotte goes up 1-0. And it's by a pretty significant amount. And then East Kentwood responds back with 2 nearly 100-0s to pull it back to a 2-1. Neither team is giving up anything in this. We absolutely love to see that. I am so excited for map 4 here. Push map is going to be such a back and forth. I mean, already this has been a huge back and forth. And this map is designed to be a back and forth. So I hope you're ready for what is about to be some absolute turmoil on map 4. I gotta say, I am so proud of this team right now watching them because they are currently playing where we actually have two of our teammates that we've been practicing with diligently for this week. They are not able to be here today, and wow, how their teammates have shown up. That did not affect their gameplay one bit. That they are playing on an alternate comp from what they were initially intending. They're playing the brawl still and the poke, which is what they intended, and that's not to say that there's any sort of excuse for any situation. I think Kentwood, even with any comp that Charlotte puts up right now, it's going to be competitive. There is no way this is going to be, you know, a blowout on either side. It is fantastic gameplay. This is just so much fun to watch right now. So, map 4, holy moly, we still got this and another one to go. And guess who didn't bring a water with him? What a fool. We appreciate everybody who is here and watching and supporting. And even if you're here and you're from East Kentwood, we hope you're having a great time watching this match too. Your team is playing absolute lightning here. Charlotte doing their best to compete as well. I get the feeling that if we don't see one team from East Kentwood at the state tournament, I expect to see two, based on what I'm seeing here from this team. I'm actually trying to think of a state tournament for MiHSEF where I haven't seen the name East Kentwood at least once. Can't say that it's happened. So, map 4 starting out here. This is going to be an escort for both teams. Both are on the attacking side for this at the same time. This is a very back and forth play style to have. And we have been doing disrespect to Mr. One Bullet by calling out how good he is at getting these opening picks and not featuring him more. So we are going to be watching a heck of a lot of Mr. One Bullet gameplay right now. So just looking for that opening. It's going to end up being Insanity that goes down first, and I expect to see a heavy push from East Kentwood at this point. And there it is. We're going to see their soldier is going to play a riskier angle here because they know they've got the advantage. They can play it up. That's going to be East Kentwood taking the first capture of this point. Now it's up to Charlotte to wipe the board, get back into this, and play from the high ground and take it back. We're going to see the switch over to the Echo here. Looking to get a little longer distance poke here, being able to kind of harass the angles that the enemy team is trying to take. You can see these blobs here. They do a massive amount of damage, and it's hard to allow someone to play into that. So you have got to respect it. There's going to be the call that there is an off angle here, and Snipely gets a nice first pick. And now Charlotte's going to be the one who's going to be walking on this, looking for how can we replicate. 1 kill down to 2. They see the Kiriko in the back line here. That is going to be a trade onto Tayshawn. But the hunt is coming out from Royce, and he gets one, and Snipely is able to take the tank as well. Low HP for Charlotte, but that point is moving in their favor. Now the hunt is on. Royce Mitchell, aim bot. Not actually, folks. Please do not think that he's aim bot. He's definitely not, but man, he's got the clicks here. His aim is phenomenal on these hit scan heroes. He is our hit scan hero. All right, so now Charlotte is looking to push it to about the same distance that East Kentwood got it to, and so now the call for East Kentwood is going to be, it's time we push back. So Charlotte is now in the lead in terms of distance, and as soon as I say that, there is a first pick in favor of East Kentwood, and so that is going to result in probably an end where that began. Ults are starting to come out. They recognize the advantage. They get 2 more picks. Charlotte should hold on to their ults here, of which they are close to 5. So, just as quick as we see Charlotte cap it, East Kent was going to get it too. And if Charlotte plays their ults right, I get the feeling we see the exact same thing back and forth once again. And as soon as I say that, though, Snipe 69 hits a fantastic snipe onto Mr. One Bullet. And so now the momentum shift of this back and forth ability is a little bit lost for Charlotte here. Now they're going to be playing a bit more of the uphill despite having the ult advantage here. Going to want to see somebody get a quick pick here or pop an ult. That's going to be Bowden who makes the call. He does get the pick onto the Hanzo, who is going to get his ult off before he dies, but Tayshawn is going to get a great pick. Sniper cleans up a third. Royce, you can see him hunting in the back, and as soon as I said, will it be a back and forth? Charlotte proves me wrong. Dangerous moment here for this Ramatra. Gonna want to get out. You do not want to get staggered right now, because just like what happened to Charlotte, it can happen to East Kentwood.
We're almost there, team.
Kentwood should be able to get a contest here before the lead is taken by Charlotte, but that is okay. It's not about the lead right now. It's about who can get these opening picks, get off an early ult here. Charlotte's sitting on 3. We want to see them use one quickly. Maybe this Echo gets off a Ramatra ult. He gets picked off, though. That's going to be a first pick for East Kentwood. It's probably going to replicate here into a second one if Muffin Man's not careful. Caster Curse, it's going to immediately happen that Charlotte is going to start getting wiped off the board here. The call to die off needs to be happening, and that is going to be East Kentwood takes the bot again. We are about 3 minutes into this match, or sorry, 4 minutes, misspoke. Math's really tough. I'm an English and social studies teacher, not a math guy. We are just shy of about halfway through this, a little less than half, and yet so far we have not seen a lot of movement from the bot in either direction. In both scenarios, we have seen it back and forth. He is going to go for the early Ramatra here, and now we have 2 Ramatras for Charlotte, and they're going to be beefing on this one. Can they get the pick? Yes, they can. That's going to be a first pick. Charlotte needs to replicate this into a second one immediately. Be very careful of the soldier that is on height. He is going to have his sights here, and Charlotte still only has 1 pick. This is still a little bit scary. You do want to see a second pick here because East Kentwood can contest this quicker. But if Charlotte gets another opening pick right here, that's going to be a big push for Charlotte. So we are looking for, what is the Muffin Man and Tayshawn going to do? I expect the window visor and nothing less. Great first pick from Tayshawn with the assistance of Royce. We hear the rush come out, but right here we've got a great flank. And Muffin Man is going to get a nice pick. He does get traded here, but the ults come out from Melvindale. We love Melvindale too. They're great friends of ours. East Kentwood is going to go for some ults here as well, and it does not pay off. Charlotte does take the lead here now, and they are going to go for this midpoint cap. It is getting contested. They need to get this contest off the point, and if they can do that, they will get a mid cap and forward spawn, which is a huge advantage, and they get it. That is going to be big for Charlotte. The first team to cap that midway point. There is also the first pick from East Kentwood onto Charlotte. This fight is not over, though, necessarily, but it is starting to sway definitely in the favor, and I think at this point it is probably safe to say this is going to be an East Kentwood fight. But a fun statistic for you, for anybody who is not super in the weeds when it comes to Overwatch gameplay. When it comes to push, which is what we're on, the statistic is 70% of the time, the team that wins is the one that captures that midway point first. So Charlotte is going to have that advantage in their favor. That's going to be a great pick from Snipely with the assistance of Mr. One Bullet again. Make that 2 for Snipely. Make that another pickup for Charlotte. This is going to be a quick push, and that bot is moving. Can they get the stagger here? They absolutely do. Massive picks for Charlotte. They're going to get the bot pushed back up to the midpoint, and now 3.5 minutes sitting for East Kentwood to bring this back to a lead for them. Still anybody's game. This is absolutely not over. If we've seen anything from both of these teams, it is the potential to pull this through. We see the hog switch. I think that is absolutely a strength play for East Kentwood, and so I am not surprised to see it. But you got to be careful because Echo does a whole lot of damage when it comes to hitting those ults, and oh my goodness, he goes for the Ana play, and he's going to deny the soldier ult. He does get picked out, and it is going to be favored for East Kentwood, but it is a 3v4, make that a 2v4 for Charlotte. We probably see East Kentwood take this back. Oh my goodness, I am getting queasy watching this. Goes for a bit of a contest on the point to make sure that he burns a little bit of clock. Not too upset with that. We do see the switch to the Reaper, interestingly enough. Not disagreeing with it. I think it's definitely a switch because of the Roadhog. However, God, I was loving the Echo, man. I miss Echo already. They're going to ping for the Hanzo here. We're going to watch a little bit. Got to be careful here. They do not see this Reaper. It is not called out. This is probably going to be a big pick, but he does get away from that zoning very quickly. There is a first pick onto the Ana of Charlotte. This might be the first time that East Kentwood's going to get 2 fight wins in a row here. We are now at the 2-minute clock, but that is a great pick from Mr. One Bullet. The Roadhog does get a pick here as well, but Mr. One Bullet's still getting trades. This is a scrappy fight. East Kentwood is gonna look for this contest Gotta be careful to not get picked here. I don't agree with this contest here, but they do get an opening pick. This is very scary from Charlotte. This could go south if this is not played well. I do not agree with that ult at all. That is going to be a massive upset. East Kentwood is going to be happy that that happened. That has got to be hopefully a misinput from Charlotte that has come out. We are looking at a minute 20. Charlotte is pulling this back, though. It is a filthy, scrappy fight right now. And they are just going to call for, we take that win. East Kentwood probably not kicking themselves there for that fight. They know that they got an ult out of the Muffin Man. But there is still 4 here for Charlotte.
60 seconds.
We have not seen a Reaper ult from either team. I expect this next fight, one or both of them no longer has that ult. You see the Reaper playing this side angle, probably going to be looking for his opportunity. And now he's probably going to say, this is my opportunity. Get in deep. As I say that, though, he gets in deep, and he's going to go for it probably on the back line here. He goes deep on low HP, but there goes the Ana. This is a scrappy fight. Muffin Man goes down. Charlotte has a chance here, but with that ult, that chance is slipping. Last fight territory here. Charlotte sitting on 4 ultimates. This has got to be the moment. Charlotte needs to use these ults. Use all 4 of these. This is the time where ult economy is secondary to getting opening picks. Insanity going down is a tragic situation. He is playing the low ground right there, and that is going to be rough. Charlotte's going to go for a hero play with the Reaper, and it's going to get immediately mitigated. That is risky to go for hero plays. Charlotte does get a pick here and make that 2. The call is going to come out. Ults need to drop. It is just this Reaper who does have his ult still. Very careful of this ult. He does go for it. It is going to take 1, but Mr. One Bullet comes back with the response, and that is going to be an overtime play for Charlotte to take map 3. Absolute massive and close match. Again, these teams, no one is giving an inch. There is no blowouts. There is no one-sided gameplay. Right up to the last minute, either team has the potential to dominate this scene. And Charlotte has got to be feeling monumental. Coming back from an 0-1 start to a 3-1 position at this point, if they lose map 1, they will be considered the winner of the series. And so with that momentum, you've got to be feeling absolute comfort knowing we have done what we came to do. The job is not finished. There is still one more map, one more extra point if we win as compared to lose. You still get a point for the loss, but you get 2 for the win. And if 2 is on the table instead of 1, we're not done until we get those 2. That's the Charlotte way that we look at it. So, map 5 is going to be coming up here. I can't iterate just how strongly I feel about how great this is of a match. Both of these teams are putting their all. What a great match we're being treated to right now. This could go to 7 p.m. and I would not care. I'd actually be pretty hungry and I'd like some water. If we did go to 7, if that ever happens in a future week, chat, I'd like for you to maybe message somebody and let them know we appreciate some food, maybe a little water, take a little bathroom break, you know, things like that. But today we finish this out right here, right now. Charlotte is looking for that 4-1. If they can pull the 4-1 and go up 3-0 in their matches, this is a team you can expect is going to go quite a distance. So East Kentwood probably hitting a reset here real quick. Definitely a smart strategy. Reassessing what has been working. Every time that we see them down, we see them switch to something that works out really well. We saw the Roadhog switches. The Roadhog switch was working out for them. There were times where Charlotte was able to do a little mitigation of it, but that hog is dangerous. Whoever that is playing that on East Kentwood side, kudos to you. Absolute kudos to you. The whole team, in reality. I love that we get this. This is why we do what we do. All right, folks. Holy moly, the throat is starting to feel it, but Do you think that's going to stop me from screaming during map 5? I won't even bother with putting a poll in the chat. The answer is no. No, I'm going to scream if I want to. It's my stream. It's my team. This is my moment. It's their moment, actually, but I'll scream if I want to. It's my American right. So, getting into map 5 here. This is Cerveza. This is a bit of a brawlier map, so we are not surprised to see the Ramatra play. We have been seeing absolute high impact from the Ramatra. Mr. One Bullet. Pretty much anything he has played today, he has had huge impact. I can hear the Baptiste spamming voice lines. I get the feeling he's feeling pretty good. And I gotta say, as am I. So, map 5 coming in right now. This is last map. No matter what, this is a first to 3 captures. So, this can end in a 3-0, it can end in a 3-1, it can end in a 3-2 for either team. This is one that we could go all 5 points of what is a very fast-paced map. We're going to see a Doomfist for the first time from East Kentwood, and we're going to be watching the Muffin Man here for what he can do. Nice head dinks onto this Doom, and he's going to be zoning him off. This should be first cap to Charlotte. Big opening opportunity here to get that first cap. Doom is deep here, losing his utility, and I think Charlotte is going to look to at least get a little bit poke on somebody and maybe take advantage somewhere. Got to be careful of the Junkrat spam from East Kentwood. They are definitely getting good angle spams, and you get hit with one wrong nade. That is 120 damage, and for a lot of people, that's game over if you are not absolutely topped up. Nice head dink onto that Junkrat. Does not get the convert onto it, but we are at about 50% here in favor of Charlotte. No team has had a first pick. So close in favor of East Kentwood right there, but Moira able to instantaneously get that healing out. We see the call for a Junkrat playing on the right side, and that is going to be a first pick against Charlotte. And the way these fights have been going, as soon as I say that though, it's going to be trades. A little bit of an advantage here for East Kentwood, but again, Charlotte is going to be pulling it back through. Might be in favor of East Kentwood though. Snipe Lee going to contest as much as he can, gets it up to what is probably going to be about 91% here, and that is a great one to have for Charlotte because that is a one-fight territory. Charlotte hits that point once, and they have got the first one of 3. Looking at ult economy, Charlotte has the opportunity here to pop 2 ults for sure, maybe even 3 in this fight. We don't want to see them pop those all if we don't have to, but we would like to see an early ultimate here, get a nice first pick, finish this one off, a nice 1-0, and then get ourselves onto point 2 immediately. Nice stagger here. Gotta be very careful. There are a lot of people poking at the back line of Charlotte. Nice first pick from Mr. One Bullet. I want to see an ult come out right here, right now. And there's the Moira ult. Gonna be followed up by the Lucio beat, but Mr. One Bullet is still doing work. He is not finished with what he came to do here. Charlotte is still contesting. Lucio needs to go here, and he is absolutely gonna go. That is gonna be the contest done for East Kentwood, and East Kentwood is probably now gonna be looking to, where's second objective gonna be? We play for it. Doomfist is gonna get the touch here. Maybe they can go for a touch. Maybe they can go for a point here with this ult. Could be dangerous. Does not get a kill. Gets him low, but Charlotte supports. Man, we heart our supports. East Kentwood still fighting this. If they can get the win here, they would capture first point. This Doomfist is gonna go for the ult. He is not done with what he came to do. Credit to East Kentwood. They are popping a lot of ults here, and they are getting picks, but Charlotte is coming out in the advantage, and they get the first point, and they've got ult economy to come into point 2 here. Very good contest from East Kentwood. Again, anybody's game in that moment, but Charlotte beautifully plays that point. They zone out those ults. They manage to focus down enemy teammates beautifully, playing off of each other's damage, pinging in that moment. I mean, these guys, there are times where we talk about, man, targeting, we got to work on our targeting today. That is never the case when it comes to game day. These guys lock in. So, point 2 is about to unlock here, and that echo pick could be massive, and it's there! Mr. One Bullet for the 30 millionth time. First pick for Charlotte. Doomfist is in on point. He's at half HP. He has to back this out. Razorblade Ana does get a nice pick and a sleep here, but Charlotte is going to get the cap. Snipely doing a nice job protecting his teammates, but that's going to be Muffin Man down. I get the feeling we see... Ooh, dangerous TP from Mr. One Bullet. I get the feeling we see this point is not going to make it to probably 50% before it switches over. And that is very much going to be the case. We're probably going to see about a 36% charge here. I say that, and of course it's 37, because why would I be right about that? 37% for Charlotte. Not a bad one if they can get a convincing win and then hold on to point, deny a contest with a nice first pick. You could easily take a 2-0 lead here, but East Kentwood not going to be upset with that. Already about to match the percentage of Charlotte here, so they are going to take a lead on point 2 right now. That Ana is a little bit isolated though. The call is to look at it. Mr. One Bullet gets a nice first pick and make that 2 for Snipe Lee. And now there's going to be a trade. But I'm hopeful to see that Charlotte is going to be able to take another one out. They do get the Echo, but again, a trade gets taken out, and another ult from the Doomfist. This Doomfist, again, their tank play has been absolutely phenomenal. Charlotte's going to get the trade here. That Doomfist is still up, though. A danger, a force to be reckoned with. Needs to go down here right now in order for Charlotte to feel safe about this capture. Sounds like he's going to back out, and so Charlotte should be thankful for that. The Doomfist recognizing, play with your team, playing beautifully right now. Charlotte is in a one-fight territory here to bring it up to 2-0, and they are sitting on decent ult economy. I would love to see what we call the Wombo combo, where we get the Ramatra and the Moira ults together. I think we are going to see it. It's the Wombo combo. Got to hunt more than that. Can't just be a 1, and that's going to be a 3. Charlotte pulling this together. This should be a 2-0 lead for Charlotte, and they should be coming up on 2 ults for third point. Charlotte in a beautiful 2-0. We do not want to see East Kentwood let go of the wheel here. If we want to see this go the distance, I expect East Kentwood to take point 3 and make this a competitive map 5. Already it has been on each of these points. Charlotte has won each of them, but it has not been convincingly. East Kentwood makes them work for it. Absolute, all the way to the end here. They know that they cannot win the series, and that is not stopping them from still being competitive, still pulling out new tricks from the bag. It is even a good time for them to pull out this Doomfist, even though they have not seemed comfortable to pull it out earlier. And now a Junker Queen too. I think they're flexing and trying things out. You definitely want to do that when you're in the situation that they're in. Get comfortable. Try something you haven't tried. Maybe it'll work out really well. Your opponent has not seen it. The Junker Queen gets a nice pick onto Mr. One Bullet. And so right now, Charlotte gets the cap. But again, this could get dangerous for Charlotte. They do get another good pick, and if they can get a third right here, and they do, I think we see that this point does go in favor convincingly of Charlotte. If East Kent would have gotten another pick there, I think we could have seen a situation again, just like point 2, where Charlotte does not get it above 50% necessarily. Oh, that is going to be a big stagger pick. That is going to hurt East Kentwood big time. Charlotte used 1 ult in that situation. They're getting close to another Moira Coalescence. You got to expect they're going to have it for this fight. We see a Tracer coming out from Charlotte too. Again, Mr. One Bullet's probably feeling the same thing East Kentwood is. Feeling comfortable to flex a little bit. Try something we haven't seen yet. We know we're leading. We know that we've got 2 points of contention here before we've got to worry about East Kentwood bringing it back. Nice pick onto the Roadhog. And now we're into this last fight territory. Charlotte's sitting on 2 more ults, and they have a 4v4. Make that a 4v3 in favor. Kiriko gonna get a big ult here. Very dangerous for Charlotte. They're gonna want to get some picks here quickly. They copy the Moira. Get this Ana out of the gameplay. This Moira's gonna go for a Coalesce probably. Need to see the suffer, and oh, how they suffer indeed. Overtime is about to bleed away as Charlotte takes map 5 in a 3-0. And that is gonna be 4-1 in favor of Charlotte, and game 5, more convincing win from the Charlotte squad. We love to see it. What an absolutely fantastic game. And wow,